3:19 the last time around. Actually, I believe it was the fastest lap that they've done, 3:19.2.
Yeah, that's an amazing lap. That is the fastest lap of the race, I believe. So Wurz has got the hammer down, and the Peugeot is showing that when they need the speed, they still have some in hand. That is amazing, and we're starting to see a little kind of a smoke haze from these diesels this year as they come up under the Dunlop curves. Chris was talking to us about the brake. We had observed that, but when you're starting to see that, that means they're really pouring fuel through this engine.
And for André Lotterer, these next laps are the most critical, He's got to get his head back on. He's got to put the pass behind him, put his head down, and focus on what he needs to do. And right there, here comes Wurz.
This will be for position. If Wurz can get around Lotterer, that will take second place away, and then there'll just be one more Audi in front of the Peugeot.
Still a little over a lap to the leader, Mike Rockenfeller, but Wurz is in attack mode.
When Jamie Howe spoke to Olivier Canel after the incident, he said it's over. Unless Audi have big issues, it's game over. He was obviously very dejected and defeated at that time, but since then, his drivers have dug deep, run some amazing lap times, and have suddenly got themselves in a position where this thing is definitely not over yet. Any hiccup with the 9 car, you'd have to say that Wurz has shown the speed that he should be able to take a run on Lotterer here and pass him within the next lap or two. And then Rockenfeller is way down the road, over a lap to the good. And at the sums we're looking at, he'd be needing to make up at least 4 seconds a lap. But he's showing the pace right now to maybe to do that.
I'll tell you the other thing is, remember, 2 of the Peugeots have had mechanical issues, and he has closed right down on Lotterer. 2 of them have had mechanical issues, and we know how this #1 car has been punished. We saw Davidson with the big off on the way into the pits. It has been driven hard, and Wurz is there, and it looks like this may be easy.
He needs to be careful too, because Lotterer is certainly not going to give it to him, but you know, he's got time. You know what I mean? He got a run there, but you'd have to think that when he's a little bit closer and gets a run down the next straightaway, he's been showing the speed to easily outpace this Audi.
But patience there, and this
he gets wide.
This is the difference between Alexander Wurz and Anthony Davidson. Davidson in a full attack mode, perhaps he picked up some marbles, weaving the car side to side. And Wurz, remember, Wurz and Genet said last year, we're not going to hit a curb, we're not going to put a wheel wrong. We will be disciplined and we'll be safe with this car. That was completely the opposite approach that Anthony Davidson showed when he was in it. Right now, Wurz is flying, but you saw the patience. He didn't attack, he waited. He knows he needs to get through and get through cleanly.
Well, I think there he actually, you know, he kind of had a thought about going down the inside of a nage, and he immediately got some clag on his tires, as our friend David Hobbs likes to say, and you could see the result. He understood why coming off of our nage, and then he really was weaving around trying to clean those tires up down the next straightaway, so that has cost him time on André Lotterer, and he may not be close enough even here to get the run up towards the Dunlop curves and get it done. So he's basically lost half a lap there by putting his nose in the wrong place going into our nage.
Difficult to get it done here. I would assume he's going to wait until they get through Tête Rouge and into the first chicane, I would think.
You'd have to think the word on the radio from Brad Kettler and from the Audi management will be, do whatever you can to keep that Peugeot behind you.
Seconds are precious right now. You want him behind you, but you also don't want him going forward towards Mike Rockenfeller. Hold him off as long as you can. Hold him up as much as you can.
Absolutely. If you can just take 1 or 2 more laps to really defend that position, that just means that Wurz needs to dig deeper and find an extra couple of tenths for the remaining laps. So it's all just a game of math right now in terms of how many seconds does he need to take out of Mike Rockenfeller's lead to potentially be in position coming into the final hour.
Down the Mulsanne, cannot get it done into the first chicane. Through this right-hander, back onto the Mulsanne, and then into the second chicane. It'll begin with a left, and then a right, and then a left. That'll take you down to the Mulsanne corner. The cars look pretty evenly matched down the Mulsanne right now. The Peugeot with a slight advantage. We don't see the closing rate like we saw a little bit earlier, but look, now he's there, he's side by side, and he actually drives by him, gets by him cleanly and into the chicane, and a little wide entry.
He had to take it in deep there and just got a little bit too wide there, but no problem. Now he's on his way. Now the team will be giving him the mat. They will be working this out, and they will tell him a projected lap time that he needs to hit to maybe eat into that lead of Rockefeller.
The time for patience is past. Caution has been thrown to the wind to some extent, and Alexander Wurz is on a charge. Mike Rockefeller holds down the point, but the battle is raging here at Le Sarthe on board with Wurz, and he drives past the Audi. Things are heating up, as we knew they would towards the end. It's Audi versus Peugeot, the classic battle